What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Out here in the garage today, gonna be doing a little work on Sunshine. Gonna be out here messing with some suspension work today. Suspension work today. Got a new coilover setup. What I've got here, I showed you in the last video, I've got Lakewood 9010s on here. All this front end setup, like the spindles and everything that I've got right here, this is all 82 to 92 Camaro strut front end parts. So everything's just kind of interchangeable. When I did this, that's kind of what I wanted. I mean, other than the A-arms down there, obviously those are built parts from Smiley's. But I want it like this, so you know, it's basically off-the-shelf parts, be able to just run up there if I need something, pick it up and go. The only problem with that is that the coilovers, or as you can see, lack of coilovers. I had a company down the road from us, a machine shop, make these little spacers right here and these caps that would actually fit those springs to be able to get me ride height. The problem with that is what I've got on there now is a 250-pound spring. I have no stored energy at all when this thing's sitting down on the ground, practically none. But that's the only way that I can get my ride height to keep this thing from being in the weeds. I mean, it looks great down there, it just doesn't work. So what I've done is, bought the wrong shocks. I ordered the ones for the car and they sent me ones for Mustangs, which is, I think these are for a 79 to 93 Mustang. So those are for sale. Somebody needs a brand new set. But I've got a set of springs, a set of 170 springs. And for the Mustangs, through UPR, what they actually make is a coilover, I wouldn't say a conversion kit, but a coilover adaptation kit. So basically what it is it's these sleeves right here that will actually, you know, obviously coilover, you can adjust the ride height and everything with it. This right here slides down around the little, I'll show you up here. This has got like a little notch right here where where it adapts to the spindle and everything. That right there is supposed to slide over that, which it's not going to because it's a little wider. So I'll have to basically reverse that. I'll need to try to cut this flush and leave this part sticking down. This part right here sticking down, if we possibly can. But that will allow me to get ride height adjustment, allow me to get a lighter spring on there, get some preload on it, so this thing will actually work like it's supposed to. In theory, all of this is gonna work. I'm not quite, certain of that, but we finagled enough stuff around here that, I mean, it works on the Mustang and it's pretty much gonna be the exact same setup as what the Mustang is. Really the shock, the only difference is where it connects to the spindle is a little bit thinner. So it should work exactly the same. I may have to have the tops of these turned down a little bit. I don't quite know yet, or if I want to use the ones that come with the kit. These are a little heavier, so I'll probably use these, they're a little more heavy duty. But at least that'll give me some ride adjustment. It'll give me some preload, I guess you call it preload, give me a little stored energy in the spring so that front end can come up when everything separates in the back. Just little things like that. We've been doing a couple other things. Like I said, we've got the G meter hooked up, got the drive shaft sensor ran to the back, we've got boost controller hooked up, we've got CO2 all hooked up, just waiting on a bottle bracket for that. I've come in here and I've sealed all the firewall up, so I've got all that taken care of. Got a couple of little holes, may need to get some fire foam in there or something like that. But I mean, for the most part, all of that's taken care of. Just doing all the little things now while the motor's out, and won't have to mess with anything after it's in because it's a pain in the butt crawling around this thing. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of room once it's in there, but not so much. I mean, other than that, that's really about the only thing we've got left. So this gives me a little time to get this done while we're waiting on the motor to get here. And if anything else pops up, I mean, really, like I said, I'm just piddling, killing time. I'm just ready to go race. But we're just gonna jump on this, guys, try to get these things off. I've already got the car up in the air. I mean, you gotta do yoga to get this stuff out of here. Everything, of course, front end suspension stuff is always under tension. This isn't too bad if I get these two bolts out and drop down. I may have to wait till Joey gets over here to help me get the shock pushed back up in there. Get it off, not as bad as putting it in, but like I said, I got a little bit of work as far as getting this to go on here. I may have to go ahead and turn down a little bit, I may not. So if I don't, great. If so, we'll do what we gotta do, but we're just gonna jump into it and start getting after it. All right, I got the one bolt out here. I'm just afraid that this thing's gonna shoot off like a freaking lawn dart if it's under tension. I've got it jacked up just a little bit. That should all kind of stay in place till I lower it down, in theory. But of course now I'm fixing to put my hand down in here in the gauntlet and try to get that other one out. Ah, yeah, this is gonna be fun. I've done this I don't know how many times, but it's always so far in between that I do it that I always forget in which order that I take it off. Because once you do one, it's actually not that bad. And this little ratchet, by the way, I mean, come on, 3/8 drive, mini little thing. Best little tool in the world as far as getting in spots like this. Yeah, I'm just afraid this thing's gonna pa-ping! Hopefully I can lower it down. I've got the bolt off the top, so it shouldn't be able to just fly out of here, in theory. Trying to make sure my feet are out of the way just in case it decides to roll back. Long-winded thing. I don't really know if this is easier with the motor in or with the motor out. Okay, I was able to get the bottom nuts out and that one A-arm piece off. This is always a tricky part here. Maybe you'll catch me on camera. This thing's flying off like a bullet and shooting through the ceiling. Come on. Yeah, this is all pretty sketch. Come on. Thought you were gonna get me, didn't you? Oh. Of course, now I got it wedged in there. This doesn't feel that. Oh yeah, this is going somewhere. Ah, there we go. Nice. Now it's under the fender. Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can do this. I'm telling you guys, this thing, every time I gotta do this. Okay, those were important to something. Yeah, this is sketch. Oh, here we go. Okay. Hold on. Hey, I've got a jack here. Why don't I use it? Just saying. Oh, you gotta be able to do yoga doing this stuff. Come on. There you go. Well, one spring off. All right, now that I know the shock is bad, I'm gonna have to get new shocks. I'm gonna try to basically use this as a trial run on these sleeves. These collars right here, if you look, they just barely don't clear this lip. On the Mustang ones, it's a little different, but there's still plenty of room under here. I was able to grind the other and slide this over, and it set down on top of there. So I'm gonna try on these first to see if that's possible to be able to do, if I can just kind of grind this down a little bit, just enough to where this slides over it. If I can get that to slide over, the spring is the size to fit. And my piece right here, which is the other top piece that I had on there, that actually still fits right in there, so I can use all the same components. And this is a little heavier duty than what they send with it. And I'd rather use this the way those things sit inside that little U-bend. So if I can get that filed down, get this on there, I should be able to adjust this right here all the way down. But as you can see where this sits, it actually comes up above that. So that might work out perfect for me as far as just being up to that. But I may, like I said, I'm gonna have to cut this down a little bit. So I may bring it to where it's all the way down here to give me a little more adjustment. Just have it to where it's right there. If I can get it there, you know, just cut this down probably about right there all the way across. If I can do that to where it slides down to just enough to cover that, I think we'll be golden on that. But just gonna grab the grinder, like I said, start kind of whittling away at it. I'm not too concerned if it messes this up, obviously, because it's trash anyway. I mean, it feels pretty stiff, you know, right now, but you saw the way I was doing it now. It could have been I was holding it upside down. That's why I was doing some of that, but it's not rebounded like it should, or it's not coming up like it should. So gonna start grinding on it, see if I can get something done. Okay, after a little further finagling, what I've done is, I just took the spanner nut off of here, flipped this upside down, obviously where the bottom's on the top, put this all the way down the bottom. Now I can put this on here. This still seats solid right here. I don't care if it's a little bit above that. This is all the way down, which means now I can go all the way down to there. Put this on. Now I've got full adjustability from bottom all the way up. So when it compresses, I can set it right height. I think that's actually going to be the money shot right there. That's about where it rides. It rides right about there normally when it's all the way fully extended in the car. So that right there is probably going to be perfect. Like I said, it'll compress about 4 inches, somewhere around in there. And that gives me plenty to be able to span. I mean, I've got that much to go up, which I'm not going to ever be using that much. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to flip them over, leave that like it is. That sits in the cradle just fine. It can't move. I mean, once this is locked, I'm not worried about if that ever spins. If anything, it would probably gall up and bind itself into this, which is fine with me. Like I said, I've got the spanner I can run all the way up. So I think that's what I'm going to roll with. I mean, it looks like something might actually work out for me on this. I mean, the way this front end's done is kind of a pain in the butt, but really when I was doing it, it's the only way I could do it, all I had room for, and to be able to make everything work with what we've, the way we got the setup here, I think that'll work out perfect. So all I can do now is just take off that other side. I know what I've got to do. I'm not worried about trying to make it fit on that, obviously, because I got to do it on the brand new shock and butcher it up. But we'll get this side taken off. We know this now is where it's going to be. I can almost put that A-arm back on to be able to put that shock back in there if I had shocks. Like I said, I still got the brand new set of Mustang shocks. Somebody needs some. But we'll get this taken care of, get that side off, and just, like I said, I got to run out to Summit, pick up a set of new shocks, come back here. Hopefully they go on pretty easily. Like I said, I'll probably have to get Joey over here to help me squeeze this back on, especially with the motor not in it. It's kind of a pain in the butt because it wants to lift the whole car up. Maybe not with, like I said, everything being adjusted so far down. You can see I have the 2-inch spacers on those. This is what I had on there before. So there was actually no adjustment. The only thing I could do is I could take these off and I could have dropped it a little over 1 inch. But that was it. I mean, that's all I could do. There was no up or down, no way to set any kind of stored energy. So that's the game plan, guys. Just gonna, like I said, run out there, pick up some shocks, come back and try to file them down and get them on. Come on. Ah! Ah! Not that bad. All right. Okay. Yeah, this one actually still feels, okay, pretty much. See if I can go all the way down with it. This one actually still feels pretty good. Let's see. That comes up all right. To buy or not to buy? I'm already here. We're buying. All right, guys, it's the next day. We're back from Summit. You can tell we got the right set of shocks this time. Not the 4511s, but the 4510s. The little difference between the Mustang and the Camaro. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these out. Go ahead and go through the whole process that I did a little while ago as far as grinding that little top ring down, because these ones are exactly the same as the ones that I had before. The mounting's the same, everything's the same on them. So I thought maybe the top would be a little bit different design, kind of like what the Fords are. But I'm gonna get these ground down, get these slid over, and start putting these suckers together. All right, guys, there we go. Back in business. Don't have the shock extended yet, but sleeve slide over, spring goes on good. I mean, that is snug as a bug in a rug. And actually kind of a pain in the butt to get off, which is good. I want them nice and tight. It sits down in that cradle good there. That's, I mean, directly locked against that. We're in business. The only thing I gotta do now is get rid of that. I cannot stand the red shocks. Looks like I got a pair of rancheros on the front of it. Come on, Lakewood. Make something besides that. So these things are fixing to get painted black, just so they blend in a little better. Not that I'm real concerned about the way they look, but I'm concerned about the way they look. So put a coat of paint on that, just paint them black, start getting them on the car. Oh, much better. Much better. Like I said, it's a visual thing, but it's gonna add 25 more horsepower per side. It just looks better than that red. Everything else underneath there is black and gold, or black for the most part. Just want to get that freaking red off of there. But got the other one out there drying. This thing's together, ready to go. 170-pound springs on it. Get these suckers put on the car. Probably have to wait till Joey gets here. Like I said, they're a little hard to try to compress and put up there on their own. There's a little finagling to do, but wait till he gets here. We'll get these things pushed on. All right, guys. I got one shock actually up in the tower and connected down there. I filmed putting it in, but I can't use it because there's too much editing, bleeping out all the freaking 4-letter words. This thing is just, ugh. Every time I do this, I forget how hard it is to do this and why I don't ever want to do this. I've got this one in, but now I don't know if I'll be able to actually spin that spanner nut up and get it up where I want it to go. It's just going to be kind of a fight back and forth where it is right now. I may actually have to take the lower A-arm off on this side and do that too. I've got that back one off back there. I just always forget the order that I've got to do it in, but it's in here, it's solid. Obviously our tower bar goes across that. But I just have it in there right now holding that. I just don't think that I can, no, that ain't gonna happen. I mean, obviously with the wrench, I could probably span it up there, but it's just a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna try to get this other one in there. Again, probably not gonna film it. You'll see it when it's in there because, again, I won't be able to use the video for all the knuckle busters and all the editing. But let me get that one up in there and then I'll kind of figure out what I gotta do after that as far as how I'm gonna raise them and lower them and all that stuff. Finally got Joey to get over here so we can get this other one back on here, but I think we've ran into a little bit of an issue. Try pushing that one down.
Let's see. Let's see.
I mean, in comparison, I mean, you tell me, it's a 90-10 shock. Fast up, slow down. Okay, it's fully been extended for 2 or 3 days.
Oh.
That's a...
Yeah.
I mean, that's a brand new shock.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to do that. At least...
Well, if it had maybe like some hydraulics to it.
Like it's supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable running that. That's not going to fix itself. I don't think. I mean, compared to that.
I'm thinking there's probably, I mean, maybe no valving in this shock.
Well, I mean, I thought, well, maybe, okay, I turned it upside down, or if you do it, I turned it upside down and shipping. You know, maybe.
Was the box damaged?
No. Everything was fine. But I was thinking, well, okay, maybe because it was upside down or something like that when I compressed it. But, dude, these were like that. But you come to that one and check this one out here, and I try to, I mean, I can't even, I mean, you can sit on the ground and push it, but see what you think. I mean, watch out, that'll slide off. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't come up as fast as the other one, but when the weight of the car is coming back, it's going to come up fast.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about just putting that one back on there. I don't think anything's wrong with that one. I was just changing them just because they were so old. But, I mean, in retro, they've probably got maybe 1,000 miles on them, if that.
Well,
So I'll say we just take that one off and put that one back on there.
take it back and get your money back.
Well, the thing is, I've already painted it. That's the only problem. I could take the sticker off and paint the whole thing black and then put the Lakewood stickers back on it. But, I mean, it's a new shock. You can tell it hadn't been used. But...
Yeah, I mean, there's no wear on the shaft.
no, there's nothing.
I'll just take it back. And, I mean, they may give you another one, and then we can always change it.
Just have a spare.
Just say, hey.
Like I said, I don't think
this is bad. I mean, you got a receipt for it, and just take it back and say, hey, this ain't worth the crap.
right, and I don't think anything's wrong with those at all.
No, you just want this on here so we can adjust it.
Right, and I mean, it's on there now. I got it to work, so. All right, guys, we're gonna mess with this one, take that one off, and get that one back on.
Did you show that? Look at that.
What's that?
There's no rain.
Oh, no rain. Yeah,
We've been under a monsoon for
been battling for 2 weeks. So, all right, guys, we're just gonna get after it. Like I said, swap these out. This shouldn't take that long to get this on here, set it on the ground and see where it is. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to run the springs right here, but we're gonna get an idea of what it looks like without motor weight in it and just kind of see what we're working with. Okay, wheels back on it. Just go.
Wheels are back on it.
Make this one stand.
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
And that's gonna fall off.
Oh, I'm sure everything will fall off. But
There we go.
I mean, it shouldn't compress much, in theory.
Let's
Stop.
go.
kind of sit on the front end or push on the front end. I mean, dude, that freaking looks sick. Sitting like that, it's just, I don't think there's any way possible. I mean, that's how I ran it before. Actually, I think it was even a little lower than that. It was almost cutting the tire in half. I mean, it's just a...
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great look. I mean, looking from back here, but you figure... It's got just barely a rake on it, but figure we're putting 500 pounds in it.
Yeah. And then...
I'm just kind of looking...
at how much the lowest point.
Well, it's hard to tell right now.
It's going to be that transmission cooler.
I can't remember if the pan, the tranny pan, is lower than the oil pan on this or not.
Mine is.
Yeah, but I can't remember. I remember on the small block Chevy, you know, I ran it real low like this. I actually think I ran, because it was only like 2 inches off the ground on that.
Yeah, but you didn't have this piece here.
Yeah, because, well, before this jack, remember, I couldn't even get this jack underneath the front.
Yeah.
And right now,
but you ain't got.
Right, I don't have any weight, but right now there's a good 4.5 inches. I don't think 500 pounds are going to drop these 4.5 inches. I mean, do the math: 170 per inch, 100-pound inch or whatever.
Yeah, looks sick.
I don't know. I mean, I think we're going to have to raise it, obviously, but I mean, do we mess with that?
We might have to raise it a little bit.
Do we mess with it now, or you wait till you get the motor in it? Because it's not harder or easier anyway. It's going to be jacking the car up and putting spring compressor on it, and
I mean, you have more room obviously without the motor in it, all that. But I mean, we can do it without, you know, putting the headers on and all
Right.
that. So we have. I mean, really, this ain't gonna matter anyway on the inside. It's gonna be here.
right. It's just got to be compressed about 2 inches. 2 inches will be where it was before with the 250s on there. So this might be freaking money. I don't know.
I mean, it's probably easier to back it off. Well, I don't know. Not really. It's the same.
It's the same. It's
I mean, I just say, if you know, this is what you feel like's a gut. I mean, throw it in there, and if not,
oh man, I love the car sitting like this. Don't get me wrong.
well, here's the thing. We can set the motor in it. It's not hard. We set the motor in it, look at it, and then we can adjust it there before we hook any of the other stuff, before we put the intake on it, all the other crap.
Right.
The intake's not that much. I mean,
No,
just a few pounds.
100 pounds ain't gonna make a difference on the front.
You know,
on this.
so we'll set it in there, look at it. If we need to, you know, obviously we probably won't pull it out. We won't do anything to the transmission. We'll just put it in there.
Right. It was a little nose light anyway, so a little more towards the front. It's just, like I said, ground clearance is the only thing I'm worried about. Street driving. I'm not worried about track. It's plain for the track, but it's just street driving. So, all right, guys. Well, that's our plan. You see it. It's sitting down. It looks sick like it is right now. Whether or not I can run it like that, I don't know. I think our plan is to put the motor in it first. Look at it there. If we can adjust springs in, we'll adjust them then. But right now, we're going to leave it like that, guys. So that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll catch you guys on the next one.